you're basically selling yourself short. You're getting the short end of the stick. And you don't even realize how unhappy you truly are because you're thinking about how happy you maybe could be one day. You're missing how this shit is affecting you right now. You're missing how they are causing you so much turmoil and distress, and how it's debilitating, and how you're losing your damn mind, how you're building resentment, how you're being angry. You don't even realize the state that you're in because you're still focused on what it could become or what you're hoping it could become. You're still looking at the potential.
Excuse me, can I please talk to you for a minute?
Hey, girlfriends. It's your girl, Kendall D, back with another episode of the Hey Girlfriend podcast. And today, y'all, we are going to be talking about stop falling for potential. And I think just about every woman on the planet has more than likely fallen for potential. And it's simply because I think it's how we've been programmed and conditioned to feel about love and finding the one and like your knight in shiny armor. I think we've been conditioned to want love and fall in love. And so, as soon as we meet someone that we may be highly intrigued by or highly attracted to, any of that surface level shit, I think when we meet somebody like that, we instantly start imagining our lives with them. How it would be like to date them, what it would be like to take like the cute Instagram photos or do the TikTok videos or to have the cute matching pajamas, have someone to spoil you on your birthday, have someone to set up the fancy hotel rooms like you see all the girlies and online do and on social media do. We started imagining all of that with them and wanting that. So it's almost like before we even get into any type of relationship that we're already attached to potential and attached to what we, are hoping to get. And so with that burning desire we have in us for having someone and having love and being in love and having a relationship, we see potential in everyone. We'll see potential in just about every guy that we're attracted to because we're thinking that, okay, the chemistry is there and I like them. They tick some of my boxes off. So they had a potential to be who I need them to be. We can work with all the other shit. And I came across, I thought about a quote that I had written. It's like from 2020. It was one of my favorite ones, and it actually did really well on like Twitter and stuff. Really well to me. It got shared around a lot because I shared it on Instagram. But I wrote a quote that kind of, well, it goes very closely to what we're talking about today. And it says, the reality is, I didn't truly love my ex, although I loved him hard. I loved who I painted him to be. I loved the idea of us and what he could become. If I had accepted him for who he really was, I wouldn't have loved him at all. And yeah, that's really true for both of my exes. And when I wrote that quote, both of them came to mind because I thought about how I was when I was dating them both. And I was basically taking whatever I could get from them and trying to see how I can work with what I wasn't getting. Like, how can I negotiate on the other needs I have, but let's negotiate a little bit, or how can I work with a little bit? Maybe they have the potential to eventually one day, meet all of my needs. And the main need that met is that they liked me and that I was attracted to them and that I don't know, there was some type of friendship there in the beginning of it, of both of them. And so I just thought that that was enough. And so I basically dated potential the whole time. And especially with my first ex, John, and which is, he's in my book Toxic Ex Chronicles, John. If you haven't picked it up, if you haven't read it, it's on Amazon. And my link, I'vebeenatgirl.net. But especially with him, like I look back over that and I'm like, I didn't really ever love him. I was just basically hoping that it can turn into something I really wanted it to be, because I really wanted love in a relationship. I really even wanted marriage. And at one point in time, I thought I wanted to marry him. Yes, him. When I think about, especially like everything that's in that book that I talked about, all the shit that I've been through. Kendall, you wanted to marry that? Of course, you wasn't doing nothing but looking at straight up potential. And y'all, when you look at potential, you miss all the red flags. And it's because you're looking at the potential of who they could become and not who they really are. Like those red flags just look like what they like to say is like it's just some flags. Like look at those flags like it's Six Flags. Like we going on an adventure. We having fun. Yeah, you're on an adventure, all right. A roller coaster going up and down. Because when you date potential, what you're doing, not only are you doing a disservice to yourself and a disservice to them, because you're not really accepting them for who they are. You're you're basically selling yourself short. You're getting the short end of the stick. And you don't even realize how unhappy you truly are, because you're thinking about how happy you maybe could be one day. You're missing how this shit is affecting you right now. You're missing how they are causing you so much turmoil and distress, and how it's debilitating, and how you're losing your damn mind, how you're building resentment, how you're being angry. You don't even realize the state that you're in, because you're still focused on what it could become, or what you're hoping it could become. You're still looking at the potential. And it's like, why are we doing it to ourselves? Why are we settling? And not only settling, you're with someone that really, when you think about it, is not even for you. If that person was for you, would there be any potential, or would it all be basically existent to where you see all of their behaviors, their attitudes, characteristics, you see everything in front of you of what you want? That is, if you know what you want and you know your standards. I didn't know my standards. I didn't know what I should have as a standard. I just wanted someone to like me and to choose me and to want me. And so I big time dated potential, because I just wanted to be wanted by someone that I was attracted to and liked. That's all that mattered. Because I was never that girl in high school that had the guys, didn't have a date for prom, was never cheerleader, was never none of that cool shit, was never popular. Guys just overlooked me, or if they liked me in secret. And so I think we do that a lot. Like, once we get old enough to have control of our own lives and we're out of the high school environment, we get out there in the world and we have a little more in our feet, so to speak. And it's like you almost now have that chance to be that girl and to get that guy. And so you meet someone that's talking right, looking right, and you sold. And that's how I was. I was like strictly sold on the goddamn potential. Only because I just wanted him to really want me. I just wanted to feel really wanted. And so I couldn't accept them for who they are. If I accepted my exes for who they were, then, like my quote said, I would have never been with them. But no. I'm too busy, I guess floating on the love bombing and floating on the times of endearment floating on, the sexual encounters we would have, floating on the hope that one day it could, we'll get through all of this. I always had that mindset. This is just going to be a story we tell our grandkids one day. They're going to be like, how did y'all meet? Well, baby, I've been put through a lot. At first, your father acted like he didn't even want me. He was dating all these other women, cheating on me, and then one day he finally decided to get it together. And we were together. He came with a ring, and there we go. And I always picture myself having some type of story like that. Like, the struggle of ain't cute, but seeing the potential in my exes is what served me at the time. It's what served my little ego and what I wanted. That's all. But the whole time, while it's serving that little small part of me, it was really doing a disservice to me overall as a person. And another thing that we don't realize happens when we date someone with potential, not with actual existent characteristics that we need and want in a partner, when we are dating their potential, we're doing nothing but hurting our self-esteem. More than likely, our self-esteem is already probably suffering if we're even looking someone's way that has just potential. More than likely we have a little bit of struggle area probably with our self-esteem. It may not be extremely low. We may not quite know our worth. We may have some, some voids to fill. We may have some things to work on. And so if you're getting with someone with potential, that means you have all of this riding on them. You have all these expectations of them. You have how you, in your mind, you're almost like romanticizing and fantasizing how you want everything to go or how you're hoping it will go. You have all that in your mind. And then this motherfucker come along every single time showing you a different side of them or showing you like your dream is not going to come true because they're showing their ass, so to speak. And every time it just breaks you down even more. It's like, why can't you just love me? Why can't you just be who I need? Why can't you just act right? Why can't we just be? Or, you're so caught up in it. And then you start looking at yourself, wondering, is it something you're doing wrong? I know I did that with my exes. Like, what more can I do? How can I prove myself? All because someone that never had the potential anyway to be what I wanted them to be, I decided to see potential instead of the reality. And so I've put them on some type of pedestal, whether they wanted to be up there or not. They were on that pedestal. And so I'm looking up at them, so to speak. And I'm practically begging for them to meet the potential that I've seen in them. I'm practically, on my hands and knees, wishing that they just act right. Trying to looking at myself, trying to figure out what I need to do to get them to act right. What else can I do? How else can I prove my love? All because I've seen potential in them. And when they don't meet it, I look at myself like, damn, when all along, you're wanting someone to be someone they can't even be. Someone they're not even. You're looking at them to be someone that's not even who they are. So yeah, it's going to hurt you. Because you're going to be confused and trying to figure out why it's not going how you thought it would. And maybe they even sold you a little bit of the dream as well. You can't let anyone else sell you their potential either. That's something else that I had to learn. Like, I have to determine that if who you are today is someone that I could be with forever, I have to count on that you may not ever change. And so when you look at it that way, that means you got to date a whole different type of person. You got to date someone that meets all of your standards. And so if they meet all your standards, that means they have nowhere else to go but up, not down. That means, oh, you're meeting my expectation and standards. I can accept you for who you are right now, today. So not only is there peace in the beginning of our connection, as we're growing together, we're literally growing. So that means you are exceeding my expectations because you already came in at the baseline of what I was looking for, what I needed. You already came in that way. And now we're together. And year after year, I'm seeing you grow and grow, and I'm growing. You're even better than when I met you. Now, doesn't that sound like better and more peaceful? I'm going to tell you one thing, it is, because I have that now. And it's because I just got firm on what I wanted. And I prayed on it. And I feel like me praying on it was me like almost manifesting it. Because it's like that told my inner me, the God in me, that this is what it's going to be and nothing less. And now let's go look for it. Well, let's go wait. Well, let's go attract it. I put it that way. And so I had to tell myself, like this is what it's going to be and nothing else. Like, I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how good you talking. I don't care how good you're looking. I don't care like how good the sex may be. I don't care that you like maybe some of the same things I like. That's cool and all. I don't care if we have good conversations. Those are all nice things. But can you actually meet the main standards that I need in a connection? Because I can't work on those things. I can't look at the potential of those things that I really need in that connection, because there's a chance that may not ever become fruitful to what I'm looking for. And so, girlfriends, I want you to know that real love is an acceptance. And not only that, when you settle for potential or fall for potential, of course, there's no real acceptance in that. And honestly, it may not even be any real love in that, because you're loving the visualization of someone and not the real them. You're loving what it could be. But you are selling yourself short. And you are basically settling for less. And not only settling for less, you're settling for what's not for you. It's just point blank, period. Seeing just the potential in someone is basically you going after what's not for you, what's not really for you. And it's like you're trying to force it to be for you, because you may like some aspects of it, or maybe you just want a relationship so bad, or maybe you just want them to know your worth. And not only you just want them to know your worth, it's like now you're stuck trying to prove yourself to them. And when you do that, it's like it's just taking more and more away from you. And it's like we forget that we are the ones that set the tone of our worth and who we are. And if they can't value what we're worth, and if they can't see us for who we are, love us for who we are, and if they can't learn to trust us, to love us, any of those things, if they can't do that, that's not for us. We can't force who we want and what we want to be for us. I feel like we get caught up in that a lot because we fall in like with someone so bad. And then we have a hard time accepting them because for who they really are. So real love is really acceptance. Date someone that you could fully accept and that fully accepts you. If you cannot accept them, do not date them. I don't care about any of the other little small qualities you may have liked in them. Girlfriend, if you can look at the reality of who they are and how things are right now. Like, say, for example, he doesn't really like to talk on the phone, and he doesn't really like to celebrate Valentine's Day, or he doesn't really like to plan dates, stuff like that that you really like. Ask yourself, can I accept this for the rest of my life? Not saying that he will be in your life for the rest of your life, but I want you to think about if you were to have a long-term relationship with them. Think truthfully and honestly about if you were to have that with them. Are you okay with someone that doesn't like to talk or talk on the phone like you do when you're away from each other, or someone that doesn't like to celebrate Valentine's Day? Are you okay with that? Like, are you okay with someone that doesn't like to plan dates? If you're okay with it, by all means, go ahead, but don't expect them to change. Don't expect because of who you are, or if they love me so much they will change for me. That's not how it works. Your love is not supposed to be used as leverage. Your worth is not even supposed to be used as leverage. It's either you meet me up here where I'm at, or we don't meet at all. And so I think sometimes we do that as well. We get with these guys that don't really meet any of our standards of what we really want, but we like them so much anyway for some reason. Maybe because they're physically attractive and we put them on the pedestal because we're solely attracted to them, or we like certain aspects about them. So we see the potential in all the other ways they can be. We see the potential of what could be if they could meet all of our boxes. And so we think to ourselves, well, if he wanted to, he would. So if he really wants me, then he's going to change. And so we stick around seeing the potential in them and getting mad because, dang, I told myself that if he wanted to, he would. I told myself that if he loved me, he would change. Damn, he ain't changing. Damn, he must don't love me. I must be worthless for real. I must not be worth nothing. Because you already done told yourself that, okay, because of who I am, and since, he loved me and he really want me, all that would be all right. He'll change for me. That's not how change works. You setting yourself up for disaster. Because change is an internal thing. It's an internal job. You have no control whatsoever in that. I don't care about what Steve Harvey or no one else have said. All men can change, will change, but for the right woman. I don't care about none of that. Because when he is ready to, he will do it on his own. And so, do you really want to gamble with that? Do you really want to, wrestle with that and try your way with that? Man, you just setting yourself up for disaster. You're setting yourself up for failure, to be disgruntled, to be unhappy, to be resentful, to look at yourself like something wrong with you. It's just diminishing your self-worth even more, self-esteem even more. All because, someone ain't changing for you. And that's another thing I don't really like, is that if he wanted to, he would. Like, I get it, and I get what the girlies were trying to say, whoever created that. But to say if he wanted to, he would, is to imply that you weren't worthy enough for the change. It's to imply that you had a say in what he wanted to do, that it was up to you for him to want to do for you. And since he don't want to, then it's on you. It's your fault that he doesn't want to, so to speak. When really, I feel like not only if he could, he would. It's also, okay, now that I see how he is, do I want it? But when you looking at that potential, I feel like whoever created, if he wanted to, he would, was someone that tried to love the potential in someone and ended up with the short end of the stick when they realized that whoever they love couldn't meet their expectations. I feel like that a woman that went through that came up with that phrase. If he wanted to, he would. To kind of like tell herself, like when she left, like, dang, he didn't meet my potential. And it's like, I get it. Like I said before, I get it. The whole if he wanted to, he would think. I get it. But I just don't agree with it for various reasons. I may have to come back with a full podcast on that because I feel like my thoughts are getting off track because that's a whole other thing in itself. But back on track a little bit. So yeah, you can't date potential. It's just not good on any level. And I feel like you have to adopt a belief that what's for you won't miss you. Like what's actually for you will be for you, and it will be peaceful. It will make sense. It won't be confusing. It will just be. I think sometimes we have a hard time believing that what we want is out there and that it could just be that simple. Like, you don't have to love hard. I feel like when you see the potential in someone, you're loving pretty hard because it's like you're loving them so hard, hoping that you can squeeze that potential out of them to be existential. And loving hard, you don't have to do. And that's something I realized when I fell into healthy love because I'm like, this has been the easiest type of love I've ever had. Don't get me wrong, we've had work to do because healthy relationships and healthy marriages are work still. But it's like you're with someone that is wanting to do the work with you, that's wanting to go through the trenches with you. And I don't mean trenches of like shit like infidelity or shit that's just totally bad. What I'm saying is like relationship bumpers, I guess, so to speak, trying to fit with each other. Not fit with each other, but trying to understand each other better, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that it's supposed to be healthy conflict resolution. I put it that way. And so I've learned that it's not, like, you don't have to love hard. You know, love can be peaceful, simple. Wait for that. And trust that it's out there. Like, yeah, it may take some time. You can not revert back, but go back to my previous episode, or was it my previous story time? With my stuff on YouTube, you can go back a video or two where I talked about basically, dating while alone. Not dating while alone, but what I did to prepare for a healthy relationship. I had a story time on that. And I talked about that a little. Like, yeah, it's going to be some lonely times. It is. But you can't do yourself like that. You can't fill up your energy space with people that with just potential when there's someone out there that can just have everything that you're looking for. Like, you're not asking for too much. That's something I had to wrap my mind around as well. And then it almost became like, I know I'm not dating potential anymore, and I'm not getting sold on no dreams anymore. And then it's like, I just rather be alone then. And I was okay with that. It's either like you come in and you act right and you be right for me and it's peaceful and I can accept you and you can accept me, or it's nothing. No in between shit. Because that can also get you carried away as well. You like having that, space where you're kind of liking each other. You talk every now and then. It's kind of like a situationship, I guess. I wasn't dealing with none of that either. Because that's ideally you also either trying to ward off the loneliness or you see potential in that fruitless ass connection. And you're hoping that it could be something that it's just not going to be. I don't want to waste my time with any of that. It was all or nothing. And it can seem scary at first having that attitude because you're like, what if I run someone off? Well, let them run. If someone runs off from the absolute of what you want, that's not for you. It's not. That don't mean you change your standards. That's just not for you. You got to keep going. So stop dating potential. That's like my last word I want to say. And I want you to know that if you have dated potential or found yourself caught up in that, or you're caught up in that right now, I just want you to forgive yourself for trying to see trying to see the best in someone. I want you to forgive yourself for hoping for the best with someone or thinking someone, could really match the potential that you had. It's not like you set out saying that, oh, I'm only wanting a man with potential. Maybe you thought that that could work. Or maybe you see some kind of glimpse of maybe they could meet that potential, or maybe they could be better. Or maybe things could change. Maybe you've seen some kind of glimmer of hope and you tried it. Forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for trying to see the best. But I want you to realize that moving forward, that usually when we see potential in someone or something, well, it's that we're basically seeing what we may do in the same situation. We're trying to understand it from our point of view. And we're trying to see, like, okay, I want love and romance and the double dates, and I want all the nice Instagram photos, the matching pajamas, I want all of that. And you're thinking that it's the same kind of special to them and they should want the same thing. Because you're like, if I were you, I would want that with me too. Because look at me. So you're thinking that's how tell yourself that if he wanted to, he would. That's the cycle of that happening. You're seeing them and you're thinking like, come on, if I was with me and I had someone pouring all this love into me, I would want to change and act right. I would do it. So you can't do that. You can't see that potential and see what you would do. That's essentially what you're doing. So stop that. Like, stop that. You got to see them for who they are. And remember that true love is fully acceptance. True love is real acceptance. Healthy love is acceptance. So you can only date someone that you can accept. If you can't accept them for who they are, like, accept it. Not saying love them for who they are. I feel like love them for who they are is you secretly hoping they change who they are if you love them. I'm saying you must accept them for who they fully are. If you can't accept that and you don't like a lot of the things that they do, then you got to bow out. That's not for you. All right? All right, girlfriend. So that's all I got for this podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some new things and have some takeaways. As always, catch my books, coaching, YouTube channel, all that good stuff, whatever. All in I'veBeenThatGirl.net. Everything's there. So, until the next podcast episode, girlfriends, peace out.